This edition of the Ridley Report is brought to you by
big stick that the Real ID Act threatens us with.
It started with one small liberty victory in 2006. Free Stater Joel Winters wins a run for state rep in Manchester. He competes as a Democrat but undertakes a libertarian voting pattern. 2 years later, he's joined by 3 more Free Staters and dozens of longtime New Hampshire residents who all win state rep seats. They all take a libertarian platform, and most win as Republicans. In late 2009, off-year elections bring spending caps to Manchester and 1 or 2 other towns. An insurgent Liberty Republican wins what I believe is the only statehouse race that month. All of the above statehouse races have one thing in common. The winners are backed by the New Hampshire Liberty Alliance. It's a sort of citizen lobbying group that fights for liberty voting patterns in the statehouse. Usually it backs Republicans, but will back Democrats whenever it gets the chance to find one that's pro-liberty. Something a little different and even better happened on January 12, 2010. That's the day New Hampshireites went to the polls for 3 special elections. No, they were not big races, but this time all of the Alliance-endorsed candidates won. 2 of the races were general elections, where a Republican is fighting a Democrat and the winner gets the seat. One of the elections was a primary. In Rockingham County District 8, Alliance-backed Republican Kenneth Weiler, hope I'm saying that right, defeats Democrat Norman Hurley. In the Goshen-Croydon area of, just west of Grafton, Steve Cunningham was the Alliance-backed Republican. He turned in the Alliance Liberty Survey and answered all the questions in such a way that he scored a perfect 100. What that probably means, however, is he doesn't have a state voting record. He's a certified pistol instructor, though. He defeats the Democrat in this race. His opponent, the Democrat, was an assistant superintendent, Arthur Gillette. According to an Alliance representative, Gillette has been in the House since at least 2005, where he received mostly D's and F's from the New Hampshire Liberty Alliance. That means his voting record was less than 30% pro-liberty, to be generous. So those were 2 general elections, Democrats and Republicans. The Republicans, as usual, endorsed by the Alliance and winning. There was also a Republican primary for a Senate seat. Several candidates vied for control over the Senate seat vacated by Ted Gatsas. The departing Manchester Republican has a C from the Liberty Alliance recently, but has received A's in the past. Again, he's on his way out of the Senate seat. He moves on to become Manchester's mayor. Here again, the Alliance-backed candidate Dave Boutin, I hope I'm saying that right, wins. He defeats fellow Republican Terry Pfaff. Now, Pfaff, there's differing opinions on him, but he's a union member, firefighter. He has apparently had some anti-liberty positions, some pro-liberty. Also, the Alliance says they didn't receive his liberty survey fast enough, or maybe they didn't receive it at all. So he didn't get the Alliance backing and did not win. Dave Boutin, on the other hand, is the only other candidate that's running, the only candidate running that I remember meeting. Back when he was running around 07, I bumped into him. I was holding signs for his opponent, Dick Marple, in a primary. Boutin struck me as a sort of country club Republican, and he opposed liberalizing the concealed carry law. But maybe he was just being transparent. His voting record has been good. An A- from the Alliance 1 year and a B+ the other year. So he's been state rep for 2 years. That indicates a voting record around 80% pro-liberty, as defined by the Alliance. The show is not over, however. Boutin must go on to battle a Democrat in the general election set for February 16th. The Dem's name is Jeff Goley, and he received D's for the years 07 through 09. So, anyway, these victories do give the impression the alliance endorsement is starting to carry some weight. These small special elections may be also to our advantage because it lets us take full advantage of our activist numbers, which are comparable now to those of Democrats and Republicans. In bigger elections, I think activist base may be less important than voter base. We have a big activist base and a small voter base, basically. Probably in these general elections, the activist base cannot keep up with a high number of races. It's also looking like a bit of a liberty voting trend is beginning to shape up in the state. One thing I'm wondering, though, is whether the Tea Party folks got involved, to what extent they're going to get involved preceding the November election. And those 912 Glen Beckers, lots of them out there, well organized, are they getting involved in helping conservative Republicans? I know we Liberty folks don't always agree with Beck or conservatives all the time, but a conservative and a libertarian are 75% the same thing. So I do hope for now that these two conservative-leaning groups get engaged with political races. We'll see what happens next.
New Hampshire's State House, among the least bad governing institutions on earth. But even here, legislators plot theft and destruction. However, they don't do it without opposition. The New Hampshire Liberty Alliance stands in their path and stands ready to train you in the ways of the Citizen Freedom Lobby. Visit nhliberty.org to get involved.
Gratuitas public domain parties.